have that building structure that you wish to have in the shortest time possible.
Barbara, we have been used to our ordinary or traditional ways of building. I mean, our building mortars, the bricks, you know, the thatched houses. That is what we've been used to. What is it all about the precast concrete method of construction?
You know, you understand that they make all the walls, all the slabs, all the components of the building within concrete, and you don't need any of that plaster. You don't need any of that of bricks after bricks. You know, it's done once and it's sent to be built in the shortest time possible.
Absolutely. So, dear viewer, tonight we bring you the L-shaped from D3N9 construction. This is where the L-shaped panels are done from a precast concrete plant, right where we are now in Namamve, and they are put together. They are transported from this site to your construction site. Right now, D3N9 is trying to put up a test project whereby we are trying to see, is this even doable in the first place?
And is this made out of just L-shaped panels that are self-standing, you know?
That is one thing, Barbara, because I love the whole technology bit. I love the fact that the word affordability is not necessarily in terms of money and price of the product. Right here, what I can see, Barbara, is that we are trying to save time, we are trying to save money, we are trying to have durable product, but at the end of the day, we are giving an affordable product because it's not necessary that an affordable product is all about a price tag.
And I understand that these precast concrete L-shaped panels, they last for even 200 years, meaning that just saying affordability is you're affording generations and generations a house or an inheritance for all those kinds of years.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Now, dear viewer, let's go into a short break. And when we come back, we are going to bring you the experts to just explain much more than we can bring to you.
Lulu Residency in Munyonyo is the latest apartmentalized project by HK Properties. This state-of-the-art residency that has tipped the architecture scale in Uganda has 2 to 3 bedroomed apartments at modest rents. Scheduled payments can be arranged to fit your budget. For more information or booking, please call 0758 274 389. Viola and Barbara bring you the expert opinion on the Property Hour.
Hello viewers, it is now time for the expert opinion, and we are on site in Namamve, and this is D3N9 Construction Limited plant, and it is all about precast concrete. Barbara, what is it about precast concrete?
I understand that these people are actually making concrete panels L-shaped that can stand by themselves. You know, would you want to know more about precast concrete panels right here in Namamve?
Yes, now, dear viewer, we are going to take you through in detail, but we have the expert themselves. D3N9 Construction has brought us an expert in this particular kind of method of construction, and they are going to take us through. You are most welcome, Ted and AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Hopefully at the end of this you understand the whole process of how it's done and how it's installed and the benefits with it.
Well, I'm the Managing Director of ELCON, which is providing this technology for the first time in Uganda. We're in the middle at the moment of just producing our panels for a project in Mutungo. So I'll probably you'd probably like to know how it all works. So I'll explain that actually at the back here we have a concrete batching plant. We produce our own concrete rather than having it transported in by ready mix. We produce our own concrete because it's a special mix as well with a high cement content in order that the building remains very robust, because these panels are load bearing. So in our structures we don't have any columns or beams. They're just all load bearing walls carrying our concrete floors, which we're just about to start production in the next week or two in the back here, making our concrete floors. So the process is that we make our concrete at the back, which is then put into a skip, and the crane carries the skip right over there and places the concrete into our special molds. We've got 14 molds, and what they make is these L-shaped wall panels. So the uniqueness of the L shape is that probably, as you'll see throughout this shoot, that they're self-supporting. So we've got all these panels in the yard here that are just standing on their own. And you can't do that with a single wall. So, and each of these, you can see from the opening in the panels that these are actually the walls of a house. They're walls of an apartment actually. So they're all pre-formed. They've got their own conduits in ready for the electrics. They don't have to be finished with plaster or render or anything like that. They're all smooth. They can all, the painter's just got to do his normal preparatory work and roll out paint or stick tiles on whatever he wants.
Well, thank you so much. That sounds like something of high-skilled labor. How are you doing it? You are working with the locals in Uganda. Are they incorporating such expertise, or you are training them?
Yes, we're training them. In point of fact, our philosophy as a company is we transfer the technology. So I know from my experience of starting this in the mid-90s that the age of bringing in a load of expats to run the operation and is finished. Because like in societies now, you've got quantity surveyors, you've got architects, you've got engineers, you've got mechanical engineers, everything is here. So the idea is to just train locals to do this. The best thing we do, I think, we can train unskilled people to become skilled in manufacturing precast concrete and placing. That is the big thing, as well as employing local consultants, giving consultants work and all that.
So how fast do you make these walls? How fast do you make like a building, or how fast do you make sure like the project is done?
Well, it's like any production system, whereby it just depends on how big a facility you put in place. This is the smallest one here, which we will add to as the demand increases. So it's really here for show more than anything else. But this can make enough panels in one day for the walls of 3 average-sized apartments here. And this is just the smallest one. Generally, we work on making 100 apartments a month is what the normal
What
thing
is
we
your
do.
target, for example, annual target? How many products could you be on the market?
Well, in terms of products, I mean, the walls you can have for houses, you can have for hospitals, you can have for hotels, all sorts of schools, of course, you can do the same thing. So it just depends on demand. We can always match the demand because the equipment and labour is not a problem, because we're not dependent on highly skilled labour to do it, because you know the process is simple. The process itself is very simple, because as you can imagine, pouring concrete into a mould, I mean, it's very, very simple explaining like that,
AJ,
but it's a simple skill.
AJ, does all this sound affordable to Ugandan?
It is, if you structure it right. I don't know if you have time for me to explain it, but it's very affordable in the sense of what we have in the long-term picture. We want to make it so that the average Ugandan can afford a home built by D3 and 9.
In what terms is it affordable? Is it in terms of price or something else?
Yes, we're trying to incorporate the price with speed, with quality. So when you meet all of these 3 together, then you're giving a quality product to the end user at an affordable price, especially if you spread it over a long period of time. So what we're envisioning doing is having people pay no more than, let's say, $200 to $300 per month to afford a home.
How durable are these products that you're giving us on the market?
Especially the lifespan as well.
Yes. How long does such a house get to, you know?
Well, the whole thing about concrete, particularly this is high-grade concrete with a high cement content, and we're using the most modern plasticizers. There's an additive in the concrete to improve it. So the life of concrete is like 200 years plus. You know, so that's the thing, and we know from our experience having built in London for houses for sale, affordable houses for sale through mortgages. The mortgage institutions are not keen on investing on low technologies at all, because the mortgage market in the UK and in the Western world is over 25 years. So they're lending on an asset for a period of 25 years. So the longevity and robustness of the structure is actually all important.
Okay, are you doing this only here in Uganda, or you're doing it in other countries?
Yes, we're doing it well. We've got certainly a big loan package from the British government, which has actually loaned money here to develop Namambi. with an Irish-Ugandan consortium. We're actually doing it right now, 220 million euros, I think. And we've got a bigger package than that to do affordable housing in Saudi Arabia. So we're negotiating at the moment with the Ministry of Housing over there, but we intend to start about 4,000 units out of a 10,000 unit package during next year. So we've got to set up a production facility started in Manila in the Philippines. We have one in Lagos in Nigeria as well. So I do tend to think that our product is specifically suited to the tropic. There's several reasons for that, which are a bit difficult to explain, but it's also very efficient on air conditioning. But that's the property of the concrete itself.
The building warm
Exactly.
during like cold times,
Exactly.
and then still cool when it's very sunny outside.
In point of fact, we have an age-old system of heating in the UK, which is overnight heating. And what that does, underfloor heating, it heats the concrete. And then when you switch it off, the concrete keeps the heat. So it's a great keeper of heat, and it's also a great keeper of cool. I don't know what I'm saying.
But however, AJ, compared to these other countries, how do you find the cost of construction materials in Uganda? Because either way, even if you're doing the L-shape, at least you use some local building materials.
Yeah, every component of what we're using is locally acquired. So the cement is locally acquired, the steel reinforcement, the aggregate, the sand, and even the labor. Everybody here, most people are Ugandan, so everything is locally made.
How is it compared to other countries where you're doing the same?
It's the same. So
The costs are the same?
Well, no, the cost will differ country to country.
Yeah.
But our motto, as Ted has said, is a transfer of technology. So wherever we go, we train the locals to use the system and also help them basically acquire new skills and develop their skills.
Wow, thank you so much, AJ and Teddy. And dear viewers, this was the expert opinion. Please stay with us.
Lulu Residency in Munyonyo is the latest apartmentalized project by HK Properties. This state-of-the-art residency that has tipped the architecture scale in Uganda has 2 to 3 bedroomed apartments at modest rents. Scheduled payments can be arranged to fit your budget. For more information or booking, please call 0758 274 389. Property Trends.
It wouldn't be worth it if we just told you about precast concrete system without showing you exactly what it is, how does it even come about, and we want to show you in detail from getting materials, how do they make this precast concrete. We have a batching plant, we have concrete mixers, we have the formwork, steel formwork like you can see behind me. We have ways how they can make doors, how they can put all these things inside the precast concrete walls and the slabs. So let us take you through and explore how are they going to make this happen. We are living in a country where most residents build their houses and they even never get to question our storage houses structure is sound and what kind of high quality of concrete do they use. Here the Namambe plant for D3N9, they have a batching plant to actually make sure that we have very high quality concrete. AJ, how does a batching plant work and how do you achieve this kind of quality concrete that you use for your product?
So what we do, we have all the ingredients that we need. So primarily you need cement. So we have silos that takes about 40 tons of cement. Then we have bins that take aggregate and sand, and basically we have a control panel that gives us the right mixture and the right batch. We also have,
gives you the right class of concrete that you'd want automatically.
Automatically, yeah. So once we call, and it's with one button, so once you call on all the ingredients, they all meet here where they mix together, and then after they have mixed, it pours from here down to the concrete mixer.
So I want to know, how do you make sure your sand, like for example, is good quality?
Well, it's tested, so it's grade-free, washed river sand. So we know that it has the right quality. But also, every batch that we do, we get the concrete tested so that we know the strength we normally get 3 days, after 3 days, 7 days, and obviously after 28 days.
28 days, curing days.
Yeah.
So after like 28 days, you already know the kind of class of concrete that you want for your building. So from taking it from the concrete mixer, where does it head to?
Okay, so once it's in a concrete mixer, we pour it into a skip that's behind us, and then once it's in the skip, our crane right here lifts the skip, and then it transports it to the mold where the walls are fabricated.
This is wonderful because in a way that you do not have to worry about the workmanship of the humans mixing the concrete, trying to give you the class that they want, which is actually, on most cases, impossible. But here at D3 and 9, they are trying to make sure that automatically your structure is sound for hundreds and hundreds of years. Let them take us through what do they do with the molds. How do they make sure that we have the right length, the right shape for the walls for our architecture plan?
Lulu Residency in Munyonyo is the latest apartmentalized project by HK Properties. This state-of-the-art residency that has tipped the architecture scale in Uganda has 2 to 3 bedroomed apartments at modest rents. Scheduled payments can be arranged to fit your budget. For more information or booking, please call 0758 274 389.
Welcome back from the break. It's quite interesting to see how when they use automation and use clean methods to make sure that concrete is delivered to walls, it's such an opportunity to make sure that you have quality walls, quality products for the houses that you want to use when using precast concrete. So for example, we are here where after getting the ready-mix concrete, they come and pour the concrete in already made molds. I want to know, AJ, how does it come out that the molds are exact, you know? How do you make spaces for windows? How do you adjust height? You can take us through and see.
Okay, so basically what happens is from the architectural drawings, we know exactly how wide the wall is going to be and how high the ceiling is going to be, and we also know if that wall is going to have a window, a door, electricals, plumbing. So what we do is, based on the drawing, we do the measurement with what we call stop ends, which are these things right here.
Like this one?
Yeah.
It goes up?
Yeah, you can adjust it to get the right height that you want, and then we have stop ends that come on the side of the wall to adjust the width. They're like this, they line right here. You put them on the side of the wall and you adjust it to the length that you want. So if you want a longer one, you place it.
So if you want like 2 meters or you want 3 meters,
Yeah.
you're able to adjust exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And what about the windows? How do you make up the formwork for the
So
windows?
we have steel formwork. So we obviously know from the architectural drawing how big a window is going to be and how small or whatever the door is going to be, the sizes of doors and windows. So we have pre-made formwork that we place and we tack them to the molds. And when you tack them to the molds, then they're ready in place where you need them to be.
So even the conduits and the likes, you fit them within this same mold?
Yes.
So quite interesting. At what point within your concrete do you leave them filled with paper or what? How do you help prevent concrete from going into, say, like sockets, like switch?
Oh, so we have plastic conduits, and we prevent it from going in because we pour from the top. So the concrete basically finds its way around everything.
How do you make sure like the concrete has spread through very well to make sure you have a solid wall?
So once the concrete has been poured from up there, you have a walkway up there. That's why you see these guys are up there. There's a walkway, and we have normally 4 vibrators, 3-4 vibrators over there. So we do them in layers. We pour first layer, vibrate
to make sure
it's clear. Then we pour another layer, vibrate, make sure it's filled everywhere. And we just keep doing that until we get to the top. When we're at the top, we get the mason to basically smooth out the top of the panel.
I can see like so many formwork, steel formwork laying around here. How many do you think you can make like within a day to make sure?
So we have 14 molds, so technically we can make 14 walls per day. Well, 28 because it's L-shaped, so you get 2 walls in
So
one.
you get 2 walls, 2 walls.
Yeah.
So within a day, can you imagine that made for you? If you just had a small residential house assembled in how many days do you think?
Well, I mean, it depends on the design. It depends on basically the size that you want. But like I said, you can make 28 per day. So depending on how big your unit is, will depend on how long it will take for us to construct your home.
Because I'm imagining like a 3-bedroom house.
We can do that in a day or two. That's
In a
fine.
day or two, yeah. And instead of taking you months and months trying to construct your home, here you can have all the 28 walls cast in one day. And I can imagine fixing them is just takes a while, and before in a month or week you could have your home. Here at Property Trends, we are bringing you the latest to show you that there's so much possible, especially when you use precast concrete system. We have been exploring how quality concrete is being produced on this site in Namamve to be able to make the precast concrete walls and slabs to be able to build that house we are talking about like within days. But right now we are trying to explore more about the slab. I mean, you would imagine how big are the slabs, how do they manage the size of the slabs, and what is in with these slabs? Do they make max spans or is it all solid? AJ, take us through how do you make sure that we have the exact slab sizes and how do they fit in?
Okay, so you can see this slab right here, and we have 2 of them, is about 25 meters long. And what we do is we section it off based on the architectural drawing. So we know how big a floor is going to be. So you put formers to divide the slab. And then you put your reinforcement mesh on the slab. Most slab will have continuity with plumbing. So you will cast your plumbing as well with a mold.
So you also include the conduiting within this slab before you cast?
Yes. So once that's done, once it's done, we mix the concrete, bring the concrete with the mixer truck, and then pour the concrete with the back chute. Once it's poured, vibrate, level it off, and then leave it to set. Once it's set and done, remove it, and then you have your wall, your floor.
AJ, what you're saying is that all your slabs are solid slabs with reinforcements only. Do you use max spans or you don't?
No, we use just the mix of our concrete, so class 25, class 30.
With a reinforcement?
With the reinforcement and the conduits that we will need. So mainly on the floors will be the plumbing.
Oh,
yeah. Quite
quite interesting, because that means all through it's concrete, it's reinforcement, which renders such a building very strong at any one point in time. So how do you manage, because I would think a slab is very big to transport, you know, like how do you manage transporting these bits of slab?
Okay, so what we have truck, prime movers, and then low beds. So with the floors, we stack them on our low bed, strap them to make sure they're secured, and then off to the location.
And the walls?
The walls, we have an A-frame. You can see it behind us over there, where the A-frame can carry 4 walls at a time. So we're on the low bed and then transport.
So mainly you can't transport more than 4 walls at a time?
You can, but you would have to use other trailers.
Oh, yeah. I would imagine. So if you're near the plant, it's better for like a customer to be able to build their house within the shortest time. Because I'd imagine the transport time would also be factored in.
Yeah, the transport time. So right now we're doing our project in Mutungu. So give or take, it takes about 40 minutes to an hour, depending on the traffic, which is not too bad. But once you have your panels on site, it goes up very quickly. So like we said, you could have a room within an hour.
This is quite an interesting exploration of what kind of concrete precast. This is a very good way of having a construction method that involves precast concrete, and that system actually shows us that it's very possible. It cuts a lot of time. If you wanted to construct in years, maybe you could have constructed in 2 months. And we've seen how everything is automated, from mixing the concrete to making sure the walls are made, to making sure every conduit is within, and to make sure all the windows and doors are as exact, because these same people have formwork which gives you a very, very smooth finish. And indeed, within the shortest time possible, you'll be able able to have your structure. And we are bringing you
Now
what kind of
at the
precast
mega
concrete
penthouse, just like we
system can
promised
do
you.
to your project. What an experience today. We've been able to explore so much relating to this kind of construction method. You know, you're out there, be open-minded, embrace new technology, embrace the things that are able to take us for years and years and years. Viola, what was it for you?
It was such a beautiful experience for me right here on the Property Hour with D3N9. They are trying to give us a whole new experience, Barbara. Because to me, Barbara, I think what is happening is that this kind of construction is way ahead of us right now. I want us to be realistic. So we're already in the future for me.
And indeed, it's not for us Ugandans to look at, you know, I just want something that will last 10 years, will last, you know, 5 years, will last 20 years. Let's look so far, things that people will talk about even in the next 200 years.
We are talking about 200 years, Barbara. So we're looking at our next generation and its generations to come. Indeed, this is a generational method of construction. Dear viewers, we were trying to bring you what is latest in Uganda, in the construction sector, and we couldn't miss out bringing you what is happening on the Property Hour. As always, it's what is inclusive, informative, and up-to-date with what is happening on the real estate and construction sector. That is why we couldn't miss out on this new technology of precast concrete in Namave from D3N9 Construction. Please do not hesitate to know what this is all about. Follow us on all our social media platforms, that is Property Hour UG, so that you can always know what is happening in the real estate and construction sector. And as well, we are proudly powered to you by HK Properties Uganda. This is a leading condominium housing company in Uganda that is doing its best to make sure that we are bridging the deficit of housing in Uganda. Please do not hesitate to check out on the website www.hkproperties.com so that you can easily acquire yourself a condominium apartment in Uganda. Till next time, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm gonna wait on you. I'm gonna wait on you.
When anointing meets expectations, miracles are physical evidence of God's power. Pastor Sandra Bengana of the Road to Redemption Ministries invites you to fellowship with her every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Imperial Real Hotel for the deliverance services. Still on Sunday, you can join Pastor Sandra Bengana on UBC TV from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and on Magic 100 FM from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. You can follow Pastor Sandra Bengana on all her social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For prayer and counseling, you can call Pastor Sandra Bengana on 0703 957 966 or 0759 621 314, or come to our offices in Ntinda next to Rovin's Apartments on Ntinda Chisasi Road, just after Capital Shoppers. The Road to Redemption Ministries, yes, you can, warrior.
I'm gonna wait on you, yeah.
On UBC, brought to you by
Keep the lights on. Use Airtel Money to pay for all your Yaka bills conveniently. Open the My Airtel app to buy Yaka units. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.